Hi everyone. So what are the 4 R's of relationship breakdown and how can we fix them? Where does it go wrong and how on earth do we recover it when it does? I'm Dr. Libby Kemkaran, and today on Tame Your Brain we're talking about this pressure cooker that we're living in at the moment and how to navigate those waters. So I'm going to go through 4 R's, but I'm obviously going to do it with kittens rather than my face because that's infinitely preferable. So let's just switch around to our little Furbies. So here we all are. So where do relationships go wrong? Where do they have those moments of disconnect? Where are the moments that you can spot the join between when it's all great and going really well and that moment when actually it isn't anymore? What is it that we need to look out for? So in our relationship breakdown, it's when our transactions go wonky. So we talked yesterday about emotional transaction. So we can always look at every exchange as an exchange of energy, and whether that energy is met or whether it's repelled depends on the state of both the people in it. So we've talked a lot about state, so I hope you know what that is by now. We're going to go through these 4 R's because they really do matter. My child's getting clamoured on as a small climbing frame over here, so I hope you can see just how energetic these little rat bags are today. I've just lost one behind me under the sofa, so God knows where that one's going. So the first R is resistance. So this is where you just begin to notice some grit in the wheels. It's when, like, they're telling a joke at a party and everyone's laughing and you're thinking, God, they're telling that joke again. But you'll not be repulsed, you'll just be a bit annoyed. And unless you deal with this there and then, at a suitable time obviously, it then moves to the next stage where the same situation will happen again, but you're then at the next R. So you're past what we call this resistance, this grit in the wheels, and this time they might tell the same joke, but there's some anger behind it. There's a bit of anger moving into this. So it's like, God, why do they have to tell that bloody joke? And now you won't even stand with them. You'll physically move into actively practicing away from behaviours rather than towards behaviours, and you'll physically move to go and talk to somebody else. And again, unless you kill the monster when it's tiny, and you can still at this stage, but if you leave it, then you just move on to the next phase, which is when we move from just having a bit of anger to it to having rejection. So this third stage is slightly more aggressive. This is when you actually not only feel resistance and that smidge of anger, but you then decide, actually I'm done with this, actually I've had enough. And then you get to the point where you're just absolutely saying, no, this is not for me, stop doing that. And that's when you hear those belief systems popping out, those global belief systems we talked about yesterday, where it's like, you always, you never. And why do you always tell that joke? Can't you see how stupid it is? And it's at this stage that people, when they've built up enough dissatisfaction or disconnect, that they then start to move into doing one of two things. They either break up here, which is a release of that built up energy, or they turn the anger inwards, and that final stage happens, which is probably saddest of all, which is the fourth stage, the 4th R, which is resignation. And this is where you literally just resign yourself to your fate, and this is just how it is. He'll never change, she'll never change. This is what a relationship looks like. Well, guess what? It doesn't have to be. You can intervene so easily when it's small and there's no heat to it. You can fix things when they're small. So I'm going to leave it there for today. It's a very short one because it's so bloody powerful. I want as many people to see this as possible. So do share it with someone that you think may benefit. That might be your partner. That might be a friend that you've heard in one of these 3 stages. It might be that you've got a small kitten staring at you and can't even concentrate. Look at this. Look at this thing. Just turned up. So I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to do some more on these points at which we can change things. We now have no kittens in view. We can do something about each of these stages, but there is a difficulty level that goes up the more up that scale you get, and that's the point. So I'm going to talk about the interventions, what they are, how to do them. Stay tuned, obviously, at kemkaran.com. And yes, I do coach couples if you'd like help. I know how much of a pressure cooker this time is, so if you've stumbled across this and you'd like a guide to help make it better, book that call in or join my newsletter for more info. And just to be really clear about these 4 R's, these are also applicable to your job. So these are also applicable to that stage where you get to resignation stage, literally, and you resign from your job. And in that case, resignation takes the other meaning of, I've had enough of this, I'm not going to put up with it anymore, I'm actually going somewhere else. So these are really useful stages to get to know and to understand where your escalation point is. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope the kittens have been fun today, and I'm just going to let it play for another minute while they do their little kippy things. And I'm just going to mention, I'm a coach, not a counsellor, so if you do want help, please do understand it. There's work to be done. It's working, not just talking, not just telling me your story over and over, because counselling is one way of solving things, coaching is another. Coaching is about finding practical solutions and finding ways out of that tunnel, whatever that tunnel is, whether it's a work stress or a relationship stress, or you just are feeling fed up with feeling bad and you need to get out of it. So if you do want to know more, click on the button at the top of my Facebook page or go to the website kemkaran.com. And I'll see you back here tomorrow, guys. Stay well.